Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Mackay T Podcast. Here are your hosts, Ryan Mackay and T Davis.
This is the Mackay T Show. This is the Mackay T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah, you can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.
Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. People, let me just apologize up front. We were supposed to do this show on Friday. T called me wanting to do the show. Some things happened and I wasn't able to get there Friday. But like I was just telling her before we came on air, it's almost a blessing in disguise because over the weekend some stuff popped off on the topic that T wanted to speak about. And I'm going to just, since this is her deal, I'm going to let her kind of run with it and we'll just kind of go back and forth on. So you go ahead and let the people know what you want to talk about.
Good day. We got a lot to talk about. First, I had sent out a message to anybody that I knew that had Twitter. Yes. And asked them to swiftly and professionally contact Magic Johnson at Irvin Johnson on Twitter and let them know that we need to get rid of Lonzo Ball swiftly and professionally because you out here doing diss tracks on your teammates. Like, we just got over the snitching ordeal with the young man pretty much setting the guy up, asking him questions about, oh, you doing whatever, and then recording it, and then posting it. And then now we got you out here talking about it, your teammate and how he doesn't have a father. And then some people like, well, they go back and forth and that's the thing that they do and they joke around. But you can joke around about my shot. You can joke around about how I dress. For most people, if y'all tight, at some point it might get annoying. But then you start talking about you don't know your father. Whoa. Whoa, Nelly. So I was like, he gotta go. He told you need to be in the gym somewhere, shooting his free throw. You shot 45% from the line. Now, if you can't hit your shot, the 3-point line is a little further back. But shoot, the free throw line ain't moved since James Naismith. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, you know, like I was telling T when she first brought that to me, and there is a report out there, and I know because I watched the Ball in the Family Facebook show that this is the ongoing deal between Ball and Kuzma. They just go back and forth playfully, but like I was saying, and like T said, you know, playful stuff can turn into, you know, you say the wrong thing to make the other person mad, it could turn real ugly real quick. And
it's all fun and games till somebody's feelings get hurt.
Yeah, and so, but like over the weekend, as far as other, you know, obviously we said other things came out, but that was one of the things that popped up, you know, late last week and over the weekend that the report was broached that Ball and Kuzma would not, you know, do this thing publicly anymore. You know, they just kind of keep it playfully in house between them. And, you know,
yeah, they were told to calm down on Twitter, according to a bunch of people. Said the Lakers called them in and told them to calm it down.
Yes.
Because allegedly Kuzma was supposed to be coming back out with his own diss record, and I was like, Lord, please, somebody get to Kuzma and tell him, don't do it.
But yeah, as far as T wanting Ball out of town, Chris Haynes of ESPN reported late last week and over the weekend that one of the constant names he hears as potential trade bait if they are to acquire LeBron, you know, as far as potential trade bait to maybe pick up a Kawhi Leonard or somebody like that, Lonzo Ball's name is the top name he hears. And it's either, you know, Lonzo Ball or Brandon Ingram with a, you know, a package that would include Kyle Kuzma and Lou Alding's contract, and probably one or two more little pieces.
Well, first of all, they're not gonna trade all three of them now.
No,
Kawhi is good, but you can't give all three of them away.
It'll
You
be
gotta
Ingram
keep
or Ball
one
in that
of
situation. Yeah, is what I read. It's gonna be either Ingram or Ball. In that package, it won't be both.
Yeah, I want to keep Ingram, as I guess you can tell.
Well, if LeBron does decide to come to LA, and there's really no reason to have Lonzo, because LeBron's gonna dominate the ball. Lonzo has not showed himself to be a capable catch and shoot type of player. So he's really kind of irrelevant to play with LeBron.
He's irrelevant to play. If we could find another guard in the draft or some walk-on, this is the thing. They all talked about how Alonzo made everybody better. But Alonzo, if you watch a lot of the games or whatever, he'll come down. If he didn't run a little pick and roll, he'll just pass it and go stand off to the side. Like when they played without him, the ball moved a lot. They would let Ingram try to go on 1-on-1, and then, whatever, Randall would get his chance. But a lot of times he just passed it. Like, why are you pushing the ball ahead to Brook Lopez when you get a rebound and you the point guard? What is Brook? Brook should not be dribbling anywhere. You the point guard. You should know not to pass to a center. Or Randall, for that matter. Ingram, that's different. Kuzma or somebody, that's different. He might be an okay player. I don't like the way he plays. I don't like the fact that he ain't in the gym, and he may be in the gym, but right now he don't have any kind of move. It's straight. If he can't get a layup, he can't dipsy do. He don't have no kind of floater in the paint. He don't have a pull up at the free throw line. He either standing out there jacking up that broke three, which is the reason you open. And then we say that when we playing pickup. It's the reason you open. Stop shooting.
Yeah, that man that just don't understand that he's wide open, so why he can't shoot.
Right. But it's the reason you open. They want you to shoot that shot. Then you don't even want to go to the basket and get fouled because you shoot 45% from the free throw line. You didn't pay. He missed 30 something.
Yeah, that's one of the things in the article it reads when it talks about how it's either or Ball or Ingram. Either way, both of them.
Both of them injured them.
They have to get more durable. And if you watch the and I believe there's something to this. If you watch the Ball in the Family Facebook show, you see that Lonzo's eating habits are not very good, and I think that LeBron probably takes his eating habits to the extreme with his diet, in some respects. But Lonzo's
But is it an extreme? Brian, me and you, if we were making millions of dollars based on our body, we would be extremely eating like that too.
Oh,
look at The Rock.
Agreed.
All the amount of food he eat, that's based on pure. I would just be the strictest diet ever if my body depended on me making these millions of dollars.
Oh, but my point on that was like Lonzo is the complete opposite. Like, he eats like I eat, which I know is not well.
So he eat like pizza, macaroni, cheese.
Yeah, he eats all the stuff that this is not good for you. I mean, and doesn't touch a salad, things like he's just.
That's because he's young.
Oh, yeah.
And COVID said it took him a while. LeBron, LeBron, over the last 5 years or so, maybe, he just,
right.
3 years ago, maybe, had that streak thing where we saw him ripped up and everybody was like, what happened? But, I mean, if you're growing up seeing these people change their diets, you on your diss track talking about all the money y'all got, y'all need to get on nutrition. Your dad is arguing with a Hall of Fame wide receiver on Undisputed when he talking about he need to run hills. He like, you can't run hills all the time. And you can't be running them during season. that's what they said in high school, but high school basketball is nothing like playing in the NBA. That's why his daddy just irks me. Because he'll act like he have two minutes of sense, and then it'll all be blown away when he start arguing with a professional athlete that's played at the top of his game, that's won Super Bowls. Like I say, he's in the NFL Hall of Fame, or got him a yellow coat, and you arguing with him, telling him that, oh no, it could be done.
It's just some kind of hypotheticals on the roster that the Lakers would have next year if they were able to trade for Kawhi Leonard and sign LeBron and Paul George, which, is the big talk over the weekend because of Kawhi saying he wants out officially.
Allegedly. We ain't heard Kawhi say nothing. Allegedly.
Kawhi don't speak, but
we gonna be responsible. We gonna be responsible journalists.
his alleged yes, his alleged wanting out of San Antonio. And, with all that being said, the kind of a hypothetical roster for them would be Josh Hart at the guard, LeBron, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and at the center, which is something that Adrian Wojnarowski reported kind of during the winter months. He said that there was talks in the Lakers and Dallas doing a swap for Julius Randle and Nerlens Noel. And the reason for that, underneath the surface is Nerlens Noel is under the Clutch Sports Group, which is run by Rich Paul, and, that's LeBron's boy. And that little group that LeBron kind of quietly in my mind, quietly runs. But, so that would be one of the reasons. But that also was how everybody believed Eric Bledsoe was going to be a Cleveland Cavalier. And I'm sure everybody in Cleveland is very happy that that trade for Kyrie Irving never matriculated, because Eric Bledsoe showed himself to not be that worthy when he was in Milwaukee. Maybe that just wasn't a good fit for him. I don't know. But he didn't play very well in the playoffs, to my opinion. I mean,
say it again.
Do you remember Eric Bledsoe with Milwaukee?
Oh, yeah.
And the whole deal with Boston, where Terry Rozier accidentally called him Drew Bledsoe, and he acted like he didn't know who Terry Rozier was. Terry Rozier was
foolish, man.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So, and that also, it could be Noel, it could be some kind of veteran on a 1-year contract like the Golden State Warriors are doing right now, like a Brook Lopez. It's a whole bunch of
I don't know.
scenarios.
DeMarcus Cousins out there, he hurt, but you have some people saying that we might make a run for him. I don't know. Trade them all and try to get Antonio Davis. Forget LeBron and the rest of them. Keep Ingram and try to go get Antonio. And I know he ain't even in no talks of wanting to leave or nothing.
Yeah.
That's just who I want to be.
She doesn't mean Antonio Davis from the Indiana Pacers. She means Anthony Davis from New Orleans.
Anthony,
don't come for tea. Don't come for tea. Y'all know who she meant.
Yeah. Antonio ain't played in God knows how long. God, that's hilarious.
But I mean, some people
don't even know that Kawhi is he healthy? Like, he got to pass some physicals, even if he want to leave. Like, you don't sit out a whole year.
That's a report that's come out yesterday. There's a story that both LA teams are concerned about, his health, and would he just be damaged goods if they traded for him? Because trading for him, I mean, that takes all that. He's
gonna lose a lot.
You're gonna lose a lot of youth. And like, you're not real happy with Lonzo as of now, but Kyle Kuzma was a very bright star for you guys last year.
I like Kuzma. I like Ingram, even though he was injured. Like, they show he him or somebody be posting videos of him working out. Like he gonna get stronger. Like he ain't got his man body yet. In the next couple of years, he should start to be who he is. And so he's like last year, he had a big jump from in numbers wise. He played well. They even had him running the point. This year, I think he'll take another jump. And I just don't care for Lonzo Ball's game. I know that the coaches know more than I do about the NBA. And what's his name? What's the coach? Luke, he loved him and his teammates. And I don't care for his game. I don't care for all the drama that his father bring on, because he still was on Undisputed talking about Luke don't know how to coach my boy, and I was like, oh my God. And Leandro ain't gonna play for anybody but somebody's D-League team, if that.
Yeah, that's the one thing he is quoted as saying. I haven't watched this past episode, and don't people. I'm not advocating the whole Ball in the Family Facebook show. I just keep reverting back to that because you get a lot of information inside the family.
I can say you probably see a different side of the daddy that I probably need to watch it. So I don't, because I just don't care for the father most times that I see him talk.
And it's a very well done show. I enjoy it. But one of the things LiAngelo is quoted as saying on there, as far as his draft prospectus, obviously he wants to be drafted, but if he's not drafted, he said he will entertain, a G League team and try to work his way up from there.
What else he gonna do? Is that like what else you gonna do?
Breaking news.
You don't right. Nobody else wants you. Lithuania. The daddy on Undisputed, and maybe he was on Cowherd's show too. Yeah, the Lithuanian coach didn't know whatever. I was like, see, people not gonna want to deal with that. I don't care what language they speak, what country they in. He don't want to deal with nobody that know everything.
Yeah, LeVar did not like how the Lithuanian coach handled Melo, the youngest one. He didn't play him he played him like 2 or 3 minutes at the end of the game, most games. And Melo,
a kid playing with grown men. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, Melo, that's why I told you coming into this weekend's episode, which like I said, I haven't seen yet, but I was reading somewhat about it. I told you I thought that, because they teased an announcement on what LaMelo's future was going to be, and I thought that he was going to be the face of that JBA league that LeVar has come up with. But sounds like I said, haven't seen the show yet, but LaMelo came out saying that he wanted to be a part of the JBA, and LeVar basically kind of not shut it down, but kind of like, let's think about it, because basically saying he didn't think LaMelo was ready for the JBA yet. And I'm like, wow. So you literally have spent the last whole season of this show yelling from literally from across the court at this Lithuanian coach. The fact that, he's not playing your youngest son. Jello Ball was playing a bunch for the team, but he was older. He's kind of more on that level.
He got a bigger body.
Right. But he's yelling across the court. I mean, loud, too, because that gym must be small, because you can hear him very loudly at this coach. But now he's going to admit that he don't think LaMelo's ready for even the JBA. Come on now.
That's foolishness. Now I do appreciate that he taking care of his children, he in their lives. He doing something. The BBB is very he needs to hire somebody that's creative, because if I see him in another tie that just got the 3 B's down the middle, I'm gonna slap somebody. Like, you can't come up with another design. Like, off the top of my head, I could make 2 or 3 nice looking ties with them B's. Like, really? Anywho. Yeah. And the t-shirts, like, just throwing look like a bunch of 3s anyway. But
that's what I really like, not knowing the original logo when I first saw it. way back when it first started. I was like, man, it was like nothing but threes.
Yeah, it looked like threes. Just threes. I don't know. I do know that I would rather not deal with him and his son and move on. And Magic didn't like him so much, though. I don't know that. I know Magic said anybody was tradable. Here right before the season ended. So while I'm not like a LeBron lover, if he can get him off the team, then come on over. Or maybe he can come and help him to grow and show him how to become a professional athlete.
Right. Anything else you want to expound about? Maybe this or any other topics you want to broach?
Oh, I thought you forgot.
What that?
The NCAA and all that with that video you sent me.
Yes, I did forget. I did. Yes, go ahead. I sent you the links.
Yeah, Brian sent me videos about how the whole NCAA Ole Miss investigation, all that went down. So apparently, some guy that's a former rebel, he is into the journalism, interviewing, researching deal.
Stephen
he
Godfrey.
Spent what, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, Stephen Godfrey, a journalist who I think now works for, goodness gracious, I can't remember the actual, he works for SB Nation. But yeah, he's a Ole Miss rebel, went to journalism school in Ole Miss. He has spent, the better part of 3 or 4 years putting together this little documentary, and it can be found on the SB Nation. It's called Foul Play, Paid in Mississippi. And
yes,
I suggest, T's gonna give you her opinion on it, but I suggest you
please watch it, people.
You still go watch it, because it does delve into a lot, and shows basically a bunch of the hypocrite side of the NCAA.
The hypocrisy.
Yes.
Yes. So, okay, what they call the bag man.
Bag man, yes.
So the bag man, first when they showed that, I was like, oh Lord, this is gonna go. I knew this was not gonna be good, but I felt like it was gonna be entertaining. So when he started out talking about the bag man and how this is the person that give the kid the money, that's semi-officiated with a team, but not really with a team. So if anything fall out, like, yeah, they want you to go to Ole Miss or UF or whatever state, but they're not employed by the institution.
Right.
So when the young man that wound up to being at the center of this investigation, what was his name? He went to Mississippi State. Do you remember?
Leo Lewis, yes.
So when Mr. Lewis, they show him changing what school, like, oh, I'm going to Ole Miss, no. I think I'm going to go to State, no. And he keep changing Alabama, no. So we thinking, like, it's like, okay, people keep giving him money, and he keep changing his tune.
At one point in the story, he says that basically Leo Lewis got paid by the entire SEC West.
Right, because at some point, one of the Ole Miss former coaches calls the mom. It's like, okay, what did you get? What did LSU offer? She like 60.
Right.
Well, what did Texas A&M offer? 80. And I don't know what schools it was, but LSU was one of them. Texas A&M might have been another one. I don't know which one. And I was like, is she talking about 60,000?
Yeah.
80,000. So this is where it really burned my biscuits. When he decided that he was going to Mississippi State, but he was going to tell on Ole Miss that they gave him some money. And I was like, people, this is the true definition of snitching. Like, if you are not involved in the incidents and you see something happen and you tell it, that is telling. If you want to call it being telltale, whatever, like you did in kindergarten. Mm-hmm. This is snitching. I am breaking the rules, and now that I have broken the rules, I'm gonna tell on somebody else that was breaking them too. That's snitching. That like using two guys or somebody that don't commit a crime. Well, I'm gonna snitch so that I can get a lesser charge or whatever. So he was the true definition of snitch. Now, the NCAA has given him or gave him, I'm sure this past tense, it wasn't amnesty, whatever word is kind of like amnesty. Like, we're not going to do anything to you. We need you to tell us everything you know, and you won't get in trouble, and you'll get to keep playing. And so he started telling about how he got money from everybody when he had to go to the NCAA and do that. It wasn't a trial. I don't even know what you call it. It wasn't a mediation either. What you would call it, Brian? When he had to go before the NCAA board or whoever?
Basically, like, it's the equivalent of an interrogation, but not like for negative on your part. Like, you're not going to get any repercussions from it.
Yeah, kind of like a grand jury. We call it kind of a grand jury style thing to see if we're going to take this to... They ain't taking it to court, but basically, you're going to see if we're going to take the next level and go after whoever you are snitching on.
Right.
So, Lewis, that is, he started getting ballsy. Like, you out here, you taking money, they done told you they, not going to do anything. You tweeting that little stuff and putting little, what was that gift he used?
Oh, he puts out the video of him, flaunting the money. That was one thing.
Right, that's when it started.
And I can't remember. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the other.
Used some little gift. I don't know if it was from one of them Godfather movies or something. And I was like, this dude, you got the audacity. I mean, I know Ole Miss your rival, but the NCAA, how you believe in him? And if you believe him, why are you not going out to LSU or any of the other schools that he's saying that he's taking money from?
That's where the hypocrisy comes in. They clearly were agenda driven, and people are going to hear me say this, and they're going to say, "Well, you're an Ole Miss homer. That you gonna always say that somebody's out to get Ole Miss." Well, no, that's not necessary. I mean, I'm looking at the facts, and
this right here. And he could have been biased, he as in Stephen Godfrey, but he kind of told a good story to me. It looked like they were after Ole Miss. And I don't know why, because Ole Miss ain't been good like in a while. Not good enough. Not Alabama good, where they've been winning 5 or 6 national titles. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, for them, you would want them to crumble.
Let's be clear. Ole Miss did some wrong. They did.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. Yeah. But you don't think that Alabama and Auburn and all these... I mean, how fast did we sweep under the rug that Cam Newton took that or whoever got money right after he won that... or right, it might even been before he won them a title.
Let's talk about who gave Cam Newton money first. Before Auburn. Before he went and signed with Auburn. Mississippi State was at the center of a whole pay-for-play. They paid his daddy. Yeah. So
yeah, I don't really know why they coming after the Rebels like that. And then you got it on audio that the mama's like, yeah, 60,000. She wasn't saying 60 cents or 60,000 pieces of paper. Like, she was talking about money. But he said it, Godfrey said it. They could not let all of this be out. They can't be going after everybody because it just looked bad. And so they're just going to go after one school, and they decided it was going to be Mississippi.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of their coming after Ole Miss had to do with Ole Miss constantly denying. You got Hugh Freeze out there tweeting, if you have any evidence that any cheating has been going on, send it to compliance at olemiss.edu and tweeting stuff like that, and tweeting constantly out there acting like he's, this Bible thumping, good Christian person who's not doing anything wrong.
So we're going to get to him too, Brian. We're going to get to him too.
Got all that coming.
My last thing about this is, I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, got all that part. But here's the part I thought, like, just, and kind of truly, and I don't like because of my Ole Missness, I don't like feeling sorry for Leo Lewis, but I have a certain element of compassion, and just I feel just a little bit bad because the NCAA and Mississippi State, for that matter, they've hung this boy out to dry, and he didn't see this coming. Nobody let him know that this was coming. But now that all this is said and done, Ole Miss has gotten their penalties, whatever. Leo Lewis is in the middle of a civil lawsuit with rubber rags that the NCAA and Mississippi State cannot protect him from. He is going to get brought up on all kind of stuff because he said a bunch of things. Yeah,
because during this story, he went in and said the rubber rags let him go shopping,
right,
and get all that he wanted on some credit card or some kind of card,
right?
And he took the stuff to the rack, and they took it and just put it in the bag and took the card or something.
Yeah, that's
what rubber rags. You ain't been lying up.
Rubber rags said that they don't have the machines that take the little sensors off the clothes and all that. That he said that they did, and they don't have any gift cards that are over, I think, $300, and he was saying that he had a gift card, the equivalent of a $500 gift card. He was just swiping and swiping and swiping. Yeah.
So they coming out of him. I don't really feel bad for him because you knew you was doing wrong. You knew you're not supposed to be taking money from these schools, and if you do it, keep your mouth shut. Like Thompson, which brings me to him.
Mm-hmm.
What make you want to get out talking about I took some money and then, I can't.
Yeah.
Really?
That right there. That's after a few years where he should have been better prepared for media. He was unprepared. Because they shielded him. They shielded him when he was in school because they knew they didn't want him to get out there and say things that would.
Well, Miss, y'all need to get your PR person to sit him down. Just like when an attorney take their person to court, they always go in and practice, and they say they're gonna ask you this question. Like, if you know you're doing dirty, Ole Miss, you need to be preparing your kids how to answer the questions when they come up.
Yeah.
Now, look, this sounds like I'm so okay with them doing wrong, and I'm not.
No, I understand.
But with the old saying, it's a right way to do wrong, and this ain't it. Now, let's get to Mr. Freeze. Now, I'm not going to judge anybody because I don't want to use too harsh a judgment because it'll be on me.
Right.
However, don't put yourself up as this kind of stand-up guy. And apparently, from what I've heard, people like he always about praying and God first. And I feel like on Ole Miss website, they used to have a lot of tweets from him, and it was maybe some kind of scripture. It would say something about, God. And
yeah.
And then you out here. I don't know if he cheated on his wife. I don't know what happened with these calls to was it the strippers?
Escort services, down there on the recruiting trail, which led people to believe he was calling them for recruits, but no, he was calling them for himself. But once again, as you just got through stating about 30 seconds ago, there's a right way to do wrong. Why are you calling him?
And that ain't it. Go get you a burner phone, bro.
Listen, why have you not seen Power? I'm gonna need you to get up on Power, people.
You need a burner phone. You do not use your work phone to call no escort service.
Yeah. What's that rapper?
Yeah, the man
that said
the man from Mississippi State is the one that found it. Was he a journalist? What did he do? Because he said he didn't think anybody else would have turned it in, so he took it upon himself.
Yeah, Steve Robertson. He's a radio host, and I think he also is a journalist as well. And he's Mississippi State. I mean, he is there You know, he
all
writes for
in because he had all his state stuff on video.
I've known about. I've never met him. I've known about him being just the Mississippi State guy. I mean, he's just, you know, big time Mississippi State homer. But yeah, he found because it's public record. I mean, it is what it is.
I get that. However,
yeah.
So let's look at the difference in. Let's say that Ole Miss hadn't given any money. Let's just isolate his situation to him potentially being unfaithful to his wife in football. Like him calling the escort service, I don't care what phone it was on. Is that really football related?
Right.
Like that's a relationship for his personal that he got to work out his salvation with God. Like that. But, you know, people get irritated when they some kind of way either they don't believe in God or they feel offended because you keep acting like you got it all and you high and mighty and they just want to find a way to bring you down. I don't know if that was what it was, but that right there had nothing to do with football. Like him calling the escort service had nothing to do with how he ran this team and what he was doing for these young men. So
let's talk about the other part of that. The other part of this that caused the downfall of Freeze when it came to Ole Miss. Freeze would still be the coach there today if they had not come out and just, I mean, they were just adamant that all these charges that the NCAA was initially looking at was happened during Houston Nuts watch.
Yeah, trying to throw somebody else on the bus. Lord,
so, yeah, that's what led Houston Nutt to have a lawyer look into this, and that's where Steve Robertson comes into play. He got with Thomas Mars, who is Houston Nutt's lawyer, said you need to take a look at these phone records, and that's where Thomas Mars comes up with the information of Hugh Freeze's phone calls to the escort service, and that's where we are, because Ole Miss still, even though all this evidence was compounding, Ole Miss was still, they were not gonna get it. They were not gonna let him go. They were riding with him, and so
you dig one ditch, you better dig two. Now there's no reason to bring Houston Nutt into this, because by the time you got all these #1 draft picks, that man was gone. And we all sat there on training day, and I use we real loosely, but then it was Kim Deitcher. Then you get the #1 receiver. Then you get like one of the top defensive something, backs or something, or linemen or something. It was like, it's rolling. Like, what's going on? You had to know that was going to be a red flag. That people was going to be like, wait a minute, why are these kids all of a sudden going to Ole Miss and not none of the Alabamas of the world or Auburn or whoever?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Georgia.
People, they would have been suspicious, but they probably would have said, they probably could have eventually rationalized it if it would have just stopped at Kendichi, because his brother had signed a couple years prior. Okay, he wants to go play with his brother, even though Clemson was after him, and he had verbal to Clemson at one point. And so they could have rationalized that. But then we go down to Florida and we get a Laramie Tunsil who had, basically verbal to everybody in the SEC before us, and then we go up to Chicago, which I don't know that we've ever recruited anyone from up there, but we go get Laquan Treadwell.
Get the wide receiver.
Yeah. And, that's when you got LeBron James tweeting out there talking about, look at Ole Miss, look what they doing. It's a big day for them, da-da-da-da. And, of course, everybody starts questioning it. And rightfully so, because nothing ever has happened like that for Ole Miss. And
not 4 or 5 top. Because if they won 5 stars, it was even 4 stars. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
So the NCAA needs to be ashamed of itself, because just to single out one school when the young man, because Godfrey, I don't know if somebody told him about what went down in the when he had to to give, he as in Lewis, had to give his testimony. But he was saying it was so many names. He said the kid was obviously nervous and shaken up. He changed his story several times.
Yeah.
And they just was like, NCAA just was on the manhunt, and they were just like, we gonna get somebody for this. Just like in National Treasure, when they steal the Declaration of Independence,
somebody got to pay.
And he's like, somebody got to go to jail.
Yes.
Somebody got to go to jail. So that's how it kind of went down. Somebody had to get a fine and lose some bowl games.
Yeah, but yeah.
So that was bad.
But what I love the fact that he's and he called on what Bagman A, Bagman B, Bagman C. He's actually spoke to these people.
Do you think I would give? You know, his voice was distorted. Do you think I would give whatever $1,000, $10,000 to a young kid, and without him already signing and on his word? And I was like, yeah, if you did, that would be stupid. Because what you gonna say if he changed his mind? Oh, I gave him $10,000. He was supposed to. No, you can't do nothing. You'll just be out of money. Yeah. So they found one of the back men who they were with. Y'all need to watch this. There's a lot that me and Brian not able to say because it was so much. It's like 4 episodes or something.
And I watched them. I watched them back to back to back because I could not stop. I couldn't stop. I had to keep going. I mean, it was just that good. And a lot of the stuff I already knew because, just reading and listening to podcasts from the reporters of Ole Miss. And I already knew, a lot of the things that was brought out. But, there was little bits and pieces here that I didn't know. But just getting the more detailed approach of it was just, I just kept going. I couldn't stop. I literally sat there for 2 hours and watched all 4 of them back to back to back.
He did a great job. Mm-hmm. And he did a great job telling the story and putting all the pieces together. And I was just like, wow. So this is a side note. What do you think? Like the NCAA to me, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, boys and girls, sorry. If you don't know, the NCAA was started. They were supposed to be looking into concussions because some football player died on a football field. So they were supposed to be looking at concussions and trying. Now, how they wind up being this governing body is beyond me, Brian. Like, I need somebody to do a documentary on that because I had heard that a while back. He brought it back up in this. But I'm like, how do you evolve from being, you're supposed to be doing research on concussions and head injuries in football to being the governing body for all of college sport?
Yeah, I don't know.
see, you don't know either. We all out here confused. Okay, so this is my question. Mm-hmm. What do you think would happen if the SEC, the ACC, the Pac-10, Big 12, all of them was like, you know what? We're going to go independent. We don't need the NCAA. We can do this ourselves. Because they have to do all the work of setting up the games. And the bowl people call you about the bowls.
Right.
And you can set up a tournament. Like, who can't do that?
Right.
What happens to the NCAA? Do you think somebody in 2045 is going to be like, we don't have enough for the NCAA and all their fools now? Or we just going to keep playing by the same old rules?
I can see that happening because, yeah, I can see that definitely becoming a reality.
You're talking about, he said the NCAA made something $1 billion? Mm-hmm. Oh. And I'm like, okay, y'all say you can't play the players. All these people y'all paying to do these investigations. and try to keep whatever rules y'all saying in place. And I'm like, the SEC, they can hire their own person. Like, they already have a commissioner. He can make up his own rules. Each conference can do that.
Yeah.
And just sit around and be like, all right, this is how the bowl is going to go to be the champion. And we can make our own trophy. So I still don't like that trophy. I really love that crystal ball. And I don't know why I had to change. But that's not what we're talking about. But I really like the crystal ball. But yeah, people, please watch Foul Play Paid in Mississippi. It's really good. www.go90.com/shows/foul play.
Yeah, and if you don't want to deal with all that, just Google Stephen Godfrey Foul Play Paid in Mississippi. It'll take you right to it, trust me. Yeah, it's definitely worth your time, whether you're an Ole Miss person or you're not. I mean,
if you like college football, right. This is just good to see.
Yes,
because Ole Miss ain't the only one doing this, people. No, it's Mississippi State. Bunch of schools out here doing this same stuff.
And don't worry, just because Ole Miss, got sloppy and got caught, it's still going on. Don't you worry, it's still going on everywhere. Sure.
There's no way, and I don't know, some Alabama fans gonna be mad. There's no way that, like I always told you, either what's their coach name?
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban is the slickest cat of all time. Because how do you get an 18-year-old to buy into coming to your program and knowing that it's a 5-star ahead of him at his same position, and you get him to come to your school and agree to sit out 1 or 2 years? Because, you got to play 3 years in college football. How do you keep getting kids to come to your school and wait to play?
Yes,
and then getting some kind of compensation. I mean, some ain't right. We ain't talking about the delayed gratification generation. Like, this is not that.
Oh yeah,
they about instant gratification.
Tua, Tua. They came in that championship game. He's a perfect example. He was leaving. Had he not played the second half and won that game for them, he was leaving. It was already a done deal. He was out of there.
So, I don't really know how they keep doing it. But, I mean, more power to them. Yeah, it's a mess out there, y'all. Because at the end of the day, like you said, and I don't necessarily feel sorry for this kid, but at the end of the day,
they used him.
He's going to be, he going to get sued. I don't know what for, because he ain't going to have no money, because I don't know that he's no superstar and it's going to go to the NFL or nothing. Because we know that that's only 3% and maybe less of players going to go. So then he's going to be back at home and wherever he's from.
Waynesboro, Mississippi. Wait, don't you do that, Hollywood. Don't you do that, Hollywood. Don't you do that.
I didn't want to call his little town out.
But basically, Waynesboro is pretty much the equivalent of what Hollywood makes Mississippi out to be. Anyway.
So he gonna go back home and be like another documentary watch where the kids standing behind the 7-Up club. What was it, the 7-Eleven club?
Pause. Retract. Okay. My apologies. Look, listen. People are listening to this, right? Cause I ain't cutting it out. I'm gonna hang by my mistake. People are listening to that right now, thinking that boy ain't from Waynesboro. No, he's not. I apologize. He's from Brookhaven, which, it is what it is.
Where he from?
Brookhaven, Mississippi.
Oh, I didn't know. So you should have stuck with Midnight.
No, I should have left it alone. I should have let you be Hollywood and let you say Midnight, Mississippi.
You should have stuck with Midnight, Mississippi. But yeah, he gonna wind up going back to Midnight, Mississippi and trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, people are saying that there's a reason.
I mean, nobody gonna really want to touch nobody, and
People all over the place are saying, people are all over the place are saying that there's a reason he didn't go out in the NFL this year. Well, first of all, he had a rough year. He didn't play as well as he did his freshman year, where he was, freshman rookie, defensive rookie of the year, and all that. Didn't play as well this past year, and obviously, I'm sure a lot of the stuff that he's been put through is probably a part of the reason. But but Rebel Rags, if they win their lawsuit, which they don't look like they're going to stop, they're going after his future earnings. So whatever he makes, if and when he does get to the NFL,
they're gonna garnish his check.
Yep, they coming for it. And I mean, hey, if they truly didn't do all that he said that they did, then go for it. They should.
Right. Because you should not be out here lying.
No.
So,
because to be perfectly honest, there was enough that he could have said that was gonna get this ball rolling on this investigation.
Then throwing this shop in it.
Right. Which Ole Miss is not even allowed. I mean, they literally have disassociated. That's the other part of Rubber Rags going after this boy and Dan Mullen and a couple of other people that are involved in this lawsuit, because Ole Miss has disassociated themselves from Rubber Rags, and that was the main store. I mean, they don't even consider them a part of the money train anymore.
Sure. Could you hardly even go to anywhere else and get good paraphernalia?
I mean, that was the main shop. That was the
one. Now, that was the highest, the Dickens, but yeah.
Yeah, because they had no competition.
True.
Yeah, so that's another part of that. So it's a sad situation that a lot of people's lives, and truth be told, before Leo Lewis even came into it, I mean, because the NCAA went searching. They went searching for people who Ole Miss recruited and didn't sign with Ole Miss. That's how this got started. But before they even found Leo Lewis, the main thing they were coming after was because of.
So he got paid the money on the tweets. Well, no, it broke into his account.
I'm talking about before even that. I'm talking the main reason this investigation got started, because it got restarted after Tunsil's mess happened. It was started because of, I'm not gonna mention the player's name, but there was a player living on a couch in a coach's home.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where this really truly started at, which is a violation by bylaws.
To get him somewhere to live.
Right.
What are we doing? Come on, people. We better than this, and I use we very loosely. We as humans. No, that's why. I'm sorry. I should not say we. I disassociated, and this is why. Because that's just stupid. Everybody knows you can't do that.
Yeah.
Anybody that's around football anytime know that that's not like they don't even want you to give them a ride nowhere.
No.
Like that's some kind of favor. That if you saw a kid that you maybe coached in class, that you wouldn't pick them up and do the same for them. But humans, y'all gotta do better. So yeah, on the bright things, Incredibles is out, and they made a lot of money this weekend.
Doing very well opening weekend. I'm gonna get out there and see it here shortly.
Brian you kidnapping his
nephew.
Yeah, trying to have a cover. I told him you don't need no cover. People, just go on out there and be you.
Listen, I saw Incredibles 1 with a grown adult individual that I'm speaking to here now today. So, I don't need no cover.
It ain't no shame in my game.
Yeah, we go right on out there. But yeah, I'm just trying to get the younger generation up on it.
You're trying, okay, get baby then. Taking to see Jack and see what's going on with Jack because it's crazy out here.
Man, this is, I will say this, at least they're not showing the same trailer over and over. They have come with some new trailers every so often. It's not the same old one.
Right.
And I appreciate that. Hope they're not showing the whole movie while they're doing that. But
right, showing the best parts and then I'm be sitting there and sad.
But it is nice and refreshing that they're not showing the same thing over and over again. Yeah, but that's all I got today.
Yeah, we all talked about it enough.
Yeah, but people, I'm gonna say it once again. It's worth going and checking out. Foul Play.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You will enjoy it. But as always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Brian Mackay, and I am with
T. God is good, Davis.
Yes, indeed. And this has been the Mac and T Show podcast. Thank you for listening.
This is the Mac and T Show. This is the Mac and T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah. You can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mac and T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mac and T Show.